Stop everything right now. Take a breath. Not the kind of breath you take when you are trying to hold yourself together in front of people. Take the kind of breath that tells your soul, I am still here. I need you to receive what is being spoken over you in this moment, because this is not ordinary encouragement. This is not a random message passing across your screen. This is recognition. Heaven is announcing that you survived what was assigned to refine you. You cried through a season that many people would have misread. Some people would have called it failure. Some people would have called it rejection. Some people would have looked at the silence, the pressure, the losses, the waiting, the empty places, and they would have said, surely this means something went wrong. But hear me clearly. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Nothing was punishment. The season that brought you to tears was carrying a test inside it. And while you were busy asking why it hurt so badly, heaven was watching what the hurt revealed in you. I saw the private tears. I saw the silent prayers. I saw the mornings when you got up with a heavy heart and still did what had to be done. I saw the nights when no one knew how close you were to breaking. I saw you sit in rooms with people who had no idea your soul was tired. I saw you smile while your faith was trembling. I saw you whisper prayers that had no strength in them except honesty. And still, you did not quit. That is why this moment matters. You did not merely survive pain. You passed the test, hidden inside the pain. What tried to bury you became proof. Proof that your roots were deeper than the storm. Proof that your faith could breathe under pressure. Proof that your surrender was not weakness. Proof that you were being made stronger, cleaner, wiser, softer, sharper, and more ready than you were before. Now hear me. The tears were not the end of your story. The tears were evidence that something real was being refined. The breaking did not destroy you. It exposed what could not be destroyed. And before we go deeper into the 9 trials you walked through, I want you to make a declaration. Press the like button, not as a routine gesture, but as a witness that your tears were not wasted. Subscribe if you know this word is speaking directly to your season. And comment, I passed the test, as your agreement with heaven before the deeper message begins. Let heaven record it. Let your own spirit hear it. You passed. Now let the meaning of that season change in your spirit, because as long as you call it punishment, you will carry shame from something that was sent to produce strength. As long as you call it rejection, you will keep mourning what was actually protection. As long as you call it failure, you will keep apologizing for a process that heaven designed with precision. Hear me clearly. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was sent to destroy you. The pain was real, but it was not proof that I had left you. The pressure was heavy, but it was not evidence that you had been forgotten. The fire was intense, but the fire was not there to consume you. It was there to reveal what could survive. You kept asking why the same kind of pain kept returning, why the same wound seemed to get touched again, why the same fear rose up in different situations, why the same lesson came through different people, different doors, different disappointments, different delays. And I need you to understand this. Repetition was not cruelty. Repetition was exposure. The pattern kept coming back because something in you was being healed at the root, not just managed at the surface. Something was being strengthened where you used to collapse. Something was being surrendered where you used to control. Something was being purified where fear had learned to disguise itself as wisdom. This was not punishment. Punishment leaves shame. Preparation produces maturity. Punishment makes you hide. Preparation teaches you to stand. Punishment tells you that you are disqualified. Preparation teaches you discernment, patience, humility, endurance, and spiritual authority. If it had been punishment, you would have come out smaller, harder, colder, and more afraid. But look at what the season has done. You came out with clearer eyes. You came out with deeper prayers. You came out with boundaries you were once afraid to set. You came out with a spirit that knows the difference between what is loud and what is true. I was not measuring perfection under comfort. I was measuring faithfulness under pressure. I was watching what you would do when answers were delayed. I was watching whether you would still choose what is right when no one was clapping. I was watching whether your heart would stay tender when life gave you reasons to turn bitter. And you did not perform perfectly, but you remained present. You stumbled, but you kept reaching. You cried, but you kept believing. You questioned, but you did not walk away. Now hear me clearly. The test can be named because the season has reached a point of completion. What confused you while you were inside it will begin to make sense as you look back with healed eyes. The pain changes meaning now. It was not refining your worthiness. You were already loved. It was refining your readiness. And now we must name the trials one by one, because heaven does not only record what hurt you, heaven records what you overcame. The first trial came as rejection, and you remember it because it touched the place in you that wanted to be chosen, included, remembered, invited, and understood. Doors closed without explanation. People left without giving you closure. Invitations disappeared. Conversations changed. The same rooms that once made space for you suddenly felt cold, narrow, and unavailable. And in the silence after those doors shut, you wondered what was wrong with you. But hear me clearly. What you called rejection was not heaven agreeing with your insecurity. It was heaven interrupting your attachment. It was not proof that you were unwanted. It was proof that I was separating you from rooms too small for your next level. Some doors closed because your future could not breathe there. Some people left because they could not carry the weight of what I placed on your life. Some invitations disappeared because they were connected to an old version of you that could not go where I am taking you now. You passed this trial when you stopped begging closed doors to reopen. You passed when you refused to let someone's absence become your identity. You passed when you felt unwanted, but still did not become bitter. You passed when you kept your heart clean, even after people misunderstood you. You passed when you stopped performing for a place I had already released you from. Now hear me. Exclusion was redirection. Being left out was not a sentence against you. It was a signal. I was turning your face toward the place prepared for you. I was teaching you that your worth is not decided by who stays, who calls, who notices, or who applauds. What I say about you defines you. And once identity had been tested through rejection, provision had to be tested through pressure, because before you could steward more, your faith had to learn how to breathe under weight. The second trial came as financial pressure. And you remember this one too, because it did not only touch your wallet, it touched your nervous system, it touched your sleep. It touched the place in you that wanted to feel safe, stable, covered, and certain. Bills came due before answers arrived. Delays stretched longer than you expected. Resources felt small. Needs felt loud. You looked at what was in your hand and wondered how it could possibly meet what was standing in front of you. There were moments when you checked accounts with a tight chest. Moments when you calculated, recalculated, and still did not know how provision would come. Moments when you smiled around people while carrying pressure they could not see. Moments when you wanted to be generous, but you were also afraid. Moments when you wanted to rest, but your mind kept asking, what if there is not enough? What if help does not come? What if this time the door does not open? But hear me clearly, the test was not about money alone. Money was the surface. Fear was the question. The pressure came to reveal whether fear would become your master, would lack control your obedience. Would uncertainty silence your prayer? Would panic make you compromise? Would need make you forget who your provider is? This was not heaven trying to embarrass you. This was not punishment. This was training in trust, while the numbers did not make sense. And you passed. You passed because you kept showing up when pressure told you to hide. You passed because you kept praying, even when the answer had not landed yet. You passed because you gave what you could, even if what you could give looked small to someone else. You passed because you chose integrity when panic offered shortcuts. You passed because you refused to let desperation make you dishonest, reckless, cruel, or ungrateful. You bent under the weight, but you did not bow to fear. Now hear me. Lack became a classroom. It taught you stewardship. It taught you gratitude for small provision. It taught you restraint when impulse wanted control. It taught you how to separate desire from assignment. It taught you how to honor what was in your hand before asking for more to be placed there. You learned that provision is not only abundance arriving. Sometimes provision is wisdom. Sometimes provision is restraint. Sometimes provision is peace when the math is still unfinished. Sometimes provision is the strength to make it one more day without surrendering your soul to anxiety. You did not always feel strong, but faith was learning how to breathe under weight. You did not always know what was next, but you kept trusting that I was not absent from the process. And because provision was tested and fear did not win, the next trial had to go deeper. Once your hands were tested through pressure, your heart had to be tested through betrayal. The third trial came as betrayal, and this one cut deeper because it did not come from a stranger. It came through someone you trusted, someone you made room for, someone you prayed for, defended, covered, helped, understood, and believed in. It came through a person, a place, a relationship, or a connection that you thought was safe. They misunderstood you. They used your kindness. They abandoned you when you needed presence. They wounded you in the very area where you had been loyal. And I saw the private grief of that. I saw what it did to you when you realized your loyalty had not been protected. I saw the moment your heart asked, how could they do this after all I carried, after all I gave, after all I forgave, after all I kept silent about? I saw you replay conversations. I saw you question your discernment. I saw you wonder if your compassion had made you foolish. I saw the tears that came not only because they hurt you, but because you loved them enough to think they would never be the one holding the knife. But hear me clearly. Betrayal was not sent to make you hard. It was not sent to make you suspicious of every person who comes next. It was not sent to turn your tenderness into a locked room. The test was this. Would pain corrupt your heart? Would disappointment silence your compassion? Would one person's failure make you punish every future blessing? Would you become so afraid of being wounded again that you would reject the very people I send to help you heal? And you passed. You passed because you cried, but you did not become cruel. You passed because you learned boundaries without hatred. You passed because you learned discernment without revenge. You passed because you stopped calling access love. You stopped calling tolerance loyalty. You stopped calling silence peace when it was really fear. You allowed the wound to teach you wisdom, but you did not allow it to steal your heart. Now hear me. Forgiveness did not mean pretending it never happened. Healing did not mean giving the same access back to what broke trust. Love did not mean abandoning your own soul to keep someone else comfortable. I was teaching you how to keep your heart soft and your gates guarded. I was teaching you how to bless without being bound, how to release without returning, how to remember without bleeding every time the memory speaks. That betrayal did not disqualify you. It refined your discernment. It made your yes cleaner. It made your no stronger. It made your peace more valuable. And once your heart had been tested through betrayal, the next trial came through silence. Because after people became quiet, heaven needed to teach you that the absence of noise is not the absence of God. The fourth trial came as silence. And this one was confusing, because nothing looked violent on the outside, but inside your spirit, it was loud. You prayed and wondered if the words were reaching anywhere. You worshipped, but the worship felt dry. You opened your mouth, but your heart felt tired. You waited for a sign, a feeling, a confirmation, a sudden peace, a quick answer, and instead, there were days when the room stayed quiet. I saw you in that silence. I saw you trying to keep your faith alive when you could not feel the warmth you used to feel. I saw you ask, "Are you still listening? Are you still near? Did I do something wrong? Did I miss something? Did heaven close over me?" You were not asking because you wanted to doubt. You were asking because you were hurting, and the silence pressed against places in you that still needed emotional proof before you could rest. But hear me clearly. The silence was not abandonment. The silence was not rejection. The silence was not heaven turning away from you. The silence was a test of relationship beyond feeling. It was where your faith had to decide whether I was still good when you could not sense me, whether I was still present when you could not trace me, whether my promise was still alive when your emotions had gone quiet. There are seasons when fire builds faith because you must stand while everything burns around you. But there are also seasons when silence builds faith because you must obey without applause, pray without immediate answers, worship without chills, continue without visible movement, and stay connected when feelings can no longer carry you. That is, mature faith. Not faith that only lives when the room is full of signs. Not faith that only speaks when it feels rewarded, but faith that says, even here, even now, even in the quiet, I will keep turning toward God. And you passed. You passed because you kept speaking to me when you did not feel an immediate response. You passed because you kept whispering prayers even when they sounded weak to your own ears. You passed because you did not mistake quiet for absence. You passed because something in you kept reaching, kept listening, kept believing, kept coming back. You stayed in relationship when emotion could no longer lead you. Now hear me. That silence strengthened something in you that noise could never have built. It taught you steadiness. It taught you reverence. It taught you not to worship the feeling more than the one who gives it. And once silence had taught you to trust my presence without constant confirmation, the next trial came as delay, because delay tests whether you trust my timing as much as you trust my promise. The fifth trial came as delay, and this one tested a different place in you, because waiting can feel like being forgotten when your heart has been holding a promise for a long time. You looked at what I spoke over your life, and then you looked at the calendar, and the calendar seemed silent. You looked at the dream, and the dream still looked blocked. You looked at the door, and the door still had not opened. You looked for movement, for evidence, for proof that something was changing, and there were moments when everything around you seemed to say, "Not yet." I saw the ache of that waiting. I saw you celebrate other people while wondering when it would be your turn. I saw you keep showing up while the thing you prayed for still looked far away. I saw the moments when you wondered if you misunderstood the promise, if you had missed the timing, if you had done something wrong, if heaven had changed its mind. You did not always say it out loud, but inside you asked, how much longer? How many more nights? How many more closed doors? How many more almosts before the promise becomes visible? But hear me clearly. Delay was not denial. Delay was not abandonment. Delay was not evidence that you failed. Delay was protection. Delay was mercy. Delay was heaven guarding the timing of what love had already promised. Some things would have overwhelmed the old version of you. Some doors would have exposed you before your roots were deep enough. Some blessings would have become burdens if they arrived before your character, your discipline, your discernment, and your peace had capacity to carry them. I was not withholding because I was cruel. I was developing capacity because I am faithful. I was teaching you how to stand before I increased the weight. I was teaching you how to wait without worshiping the timeline. I was teaching you how to trust my heart when my hand seemed hidden. The promise was not dead. The promise was being protected from premature exposure. And you passed. You passed because you did not abandon the promise just because the calendar looked silent. You passed because you kept believing when the date you imagined came and went. You passed because you allowed waiting to refine you instead of letting it poison you. You cried, but you did not curse the promise. You questioned, but you kept your hands open. You waited longer than you wanted to wait, but you did not turn delay into unbelief. Now hear me. Divine timing was not fighting you. Divine timing was covering you. What is meant for you will not need to arrive early to prove that I am good. It will arrive appointed, covered, stable, and able to remain. And once delay had taught you to trust my timing, the next trial came in the hidden place. Because after you learned to wait for what I promised, you had to prove who you would be when nobody was watching. The sixth trial came in the hidden place. And this one did not always look dramatic. It did not always come with an audience. It did not always come with a crisis people could see. It came in private decisions. It came in quiet opportunities to compromise. It came when you could have exaggerated the story to make yourself look better. It came when you could have retaliated and no one would have blamed you. It came when you could have manipulated the outcome, taken the easier road, cut a corner, hidden the truth, answered pain with pain, or used what you knew about someone as a weapon. And I saw it. I saw the moment when your flesh wanted revenge, but your spirit chose restraint. I saw the moment when you wanted to explain yourself in a way that would make others look small, but you kept your heart clean. I saw the moment when the shortcut looked available, and nobody would have known, and still you said no. I saw you choose honesty, when dishonesty would have been more convenient. I saw you choose humility, when pride wanted to speak. I saw you choose silence when your ego wanted a stage. I saw you choose obedience when nobody was there to congratulate you. Hear me clearly. Hidden integrity is never hidden from heaven. People may not have clapped for you. People may not have noticed what it cost you to do the right thing. People may not have understood how much strength it took not to become what wounded you. But heaven recorded it. Every private no, every restrained word, every clean decision, every moment you protected your character when nobody could reward you for it. Let heaven record it now. You passed the hidden test. You passed because you chose character over convenience. You passed because you refused to let pressure make you crooked. You passed because you understood that the next season cannot be carried by talent alone. Talent may open a door, but character keeps you from destroying what is on the other side. Gifted hands are not enough. You need clean hands. A loud gift is not enough. You need a clean heart. Opportunity is not enough. You need disciplined motives, steady emotions, surrendered ambition, and a spirit that does not sell its peace for temporary advantage. I was building something in you that applause could not build. I was teaching you to be the same person in secret that you want to be trusted as in public. I was purifying the motive beneath the prayer. I was strengthening your hands for what is coming, because favor without integrity becomes danger. Increase without discipline becomes weight. Visibility without humility becomes exposure. Now hear me. Your hidden obedience mattered. Your private choices spoke loudly in heaven. And once integrity had been tested in the secret place, the next trial came through isolation. Because after you proved who you were when nobody was watching, you had to learn who you were when nobody was validating. The seventh trial came through isolation. And this one was painful in a quiet way, because it made you feel unseen. It made you feel unsupported. It made you feel as if people kept moving forward while you were standing in a hidden place with questions nobody could hear. You watched others get celebrated. You watched others be chosen, called, invited, recognized, lifted, and remembered. And there were moments when your heart whispered, "What about me? Did anyone notice I am still here? Did anyone notice I am trying? Did anyone notice how much strength it takes to keep going when no one is checking on me?" I saw that loneliness. I saw you sit with feelings you could not fully explain. I saw you look at your phone and realize the voices you were used to hearing had become distant. I saw you walk through days where you had to encourage yourself because the people you expected to stand near you were nowhere to be found. I saw you feel misunderstood by people who only saw your silence, but not the war you were fighting beneath it. I saw the ache of being left behind while life seemed to keep moving around you. But hear me clearly. Isolation was not rejection. Isolation was not abandonment. Isolation was not proof that you were forgotten. Isolation was consecration. It was a separated place where I could detach your identity from the crowd, from opinions, from applause, from constant reassurance, from needing someone to confirm what I had already spoken over you. I pulled you away from noise so you could hear truth without interference. I allowed familiar voices to become quiet so my voice could become weightier than every other voice in your life. You passed this trial when you did not lose yourself after people stopped validating you. You passed when you kept walking without being constantly seen. You passed when you stopped measuring your value by who reached out, who noticed, who included you, or who understood your process. You passed when you discovered that identity is not built by attention. Identity is revealed in the place where attention is gone. Now hear me. Isolation trained your hearing. It sharpened your discernment. It taught you the difference between voices that love you and voices that only need access to you. It made you harder to manipulate, because now you know who you are without a crowd telling you. You no longer need every opinion to approve your obedience. You no longer need every room to recognize your calling. You no longer need constant reassurance to remain steady. That lonely place was not empty. I was there. I was forming you. I was grounding you. I was making your inner life strong enough for the next season. Because when favor comes, many voices will come with it. And if isolation had not taught you who you are, attention would have confused you, approval would have controlled you, criticism would have crushed you. But now, your identity has roots. And once your identity became stable without applause, the next trial had to go deeper, because after you learned who you are without validation, surrender had to be tested at the deepest level. The eighth trial came through surrender, and this one felt like losing because it asked you to open your hands around things you had been trying so hard to hold together. It asked you to release control, release the outcome, release the timeline, release the person, release the picture of life you thought would happen by now. It asked you to stop forcing doors, stop chasing explanations, stop carrying what I never asked you to carry, stop trying to manage every detail so your heart would not have to feel afraid. And I saw how hard that was. I saw the war inside you when your faith wanted to trust but your fear wanted a plan. I saw you trying to help me be God. I saw you rehearsing conversations, calculating possibilities, trying to predict the next move, trying to protect yourself from disappointment by controlling what you could. You were tired, not because you lacked strength, but because striving had been draining strength I wanted to restore. But hear me clearly. Surrender was not weakness. Surrender was not defeat. Surrender was not you giving up on the promise. Surrender was trust at the highest level. It was the moment you said, "I cannot force this, but I still believe God is faithful. I cannot control them, but I still believe God is just." I cannot make the door open, but I still believe God knows the way. I cannot command the timeline, but I still believe divine timing is covering me. You passed this trial when you laid down what you could not force and still believed I was good. You passed when you stopped gripping the thing so tightly that fear became your master. You passed when you released the person without cursing them. You passed when you released the outcome without losing hope. You passed when you released the version of life you expected and allowed me to prepare you for the version I designed. Now hear me. Surrender made space. Striving had filled your hands. Anxiety had filled your mind. Control had filled the room. But when you finally opened your hands, heaven began to move in ways your effort could not manufacture. There are doors you cannot push open. There are hearts you cannot change. There are seasons you cannot rush. There are promises that must be received, not wrestled into existence. And once you release control without releasing faith, readiness was formed in you at a deeper level, because now you are not just someone who can survive pain. You are someone who can trust me when obedience feels like letting go. But the final test had to go even deeper. After rejection, pressure, betrayal, silence, delay, hidden integrity, isolation, and surrender, the last question was this: could you still believe you were chosen while you were still crying? The 9th trial came through tears. Not the tears people saw, but the ones you wiped away quickly. The ones that came after you prayed and still felt heavy. The ones that came when you were trying to be strong, trying to believe, trying to keep moving, but something inside you was still aching. This was the deepest test, because it did not only ask whether you could survive pain, it asked whether you could keep your identity while pain was still speaking. And I saw the question beneath the season. I saw you wonder, did I fail? Did I miss God? Did I misunderstand what was spoken over me? Did heaven forget my name? Did my weakness cancel the promise? Did my tears mean I had no faith? You did not just cry because life hurt. You cried because you were trying to reconcile what I said with what you were feeling. You were trying to believe you were loved while still feeling lonely. You were trying to believe you were called while still feeling hidden. You were trying to believe you were chosen while still carrying wounds that made you feel unworthy of being chosen. Now hear me clearly. Your tears did not disqualify you. Your tears did not cancel your calling. Your tears did not make heaven regret choosing you. Tears are not failure. Tears are evidence that your heart was still alive. Tears are evidence that you endured without becoming numb. Tears are evidence that pain touched you, but it did not own you. You cried, but you kept praying. You trembled, but you kept believing. You questioned, but you did not walk away from me. You hurt, but you did not hand your identity over to the hurt. This was the final test. Could you believe what I said about you when your emotions could not confirm it? Could you stand on my word when your circumstances were still unsettled? Could you remain mine in your own mind while everything around you tried to make you feel abandoned? And you passed. Let heaven record it. You passed the 9th test. You passed the deepest place. You passed the place where pain tried to rename you, but you refused to answer to anything I did not call you. 9 marks completion. 9 marks a closing. 9 marks the end of a cycle, the sealing of a proving ground, the finishing of a hidden work that could not be rushed. This season did not destroy you. It revealed you. It refined you. It proved that your faith was not built only for easy days. Your heart was not built only for applause, and your identity was not built on comfort. Now hear me. Heaven is not calling you back into the test. Heaven is calling you forward into what the test prepared you to carry. The proving ground is closing. The readiness is speaking. The tears were not wasted. The pain did not win. You are still loved. You are still called. You are still chosen. And now, what was completed in secret is about to be confirmed in the open. These next 90 days will not mirror the last 90. Hear me clearly. The purpose of the pressure has been fulfilled. The crushing had an assignment, and that assignment has been completed. The fire had a boundary, and you have reached it. The test had a measure, and heaven has marked it finished. You are not stepping into another cycle of the same pain. You are stepping into the visible confirmation of what the pain secretly produced in you. Do not expect this next season to feel like the last one. The last season pressed you. This next season will reveal you. The last season stripped you. This next season will clothe you with wisdom, steadiness, and favor. The last season taught you how to survive without applause. This next season will show you how to stand when doors begin opening and eyes begin noticing what I was building in private. You are not entering as the same person who cried at the beginning of the test. You are entering as someone refined, corrected, strengthened, humbled, and made ready. Now watch the confirmations. Conversations will begin opening doors that no amount of striving could open. Someone will say your name in a room you did not enter. Someone will remember you at the exact moment you thought you had been forgotten. Unexpected provision will come with timing so precise that your spirit will know it was not random. Delayed answers will begin moving again. What was stuck will begin to shift. What was silent will begin to speak. What was held back will begin to release. Peace will return to places in you that have been trembling for too long, and opportunities will appear with unusual timing, not because life suddenly became easy, but because the season has changed. Do not call every sign a coincidence. I need you to hear that. Do not dismiss what begins to match prayers you prayed in secret. Do not minimize the answer because it arrives quietly. Do not explain away the provision because it comes through an unexpected person. Do not call it luck when the conversation lines up with the burden you carried in prayer. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. These are witnesses. These are heaven's fingerprints on the next chapter of your life. The same God who saw you crying in secret is about to answer in ways that make you say, "Only heaven knew I needed that." And this shift will not only happen around you, it will happen in you. You will notice a new boldness rising where fear used to speak first. You will notice calmer reactions in situations that once pulled you into panic. You will notice stronger boundaries, not because your heart became cold, but because your identity became clear. You will notice that you no longer beg to keep what was never assigned to stay. You will notice that losing access to certain people, certain rooms, certain opinions, and certain approvals does not terrify you the way it once did. That is not arrogance. That is alignment. Now pause for a moment and send this to someone who has been crying through a test. Send it to the one who has been wondering if heaven saw the nights they barely made it through. Send it to the one who has been trying to keep faith while carrying disappointment. Do not assume they already know their endurance was seen. This word may be the confirmation they needed before they gave up in their mind. Let this message reach the person who needs to know the test did not bury them. It built them. Now hear me clearly. The next season will make visible the readiness that was built in secret. The discipline nobody applauded will start speaking. The tears nobody counted will start testifying. The obedience nobody noticed will start producing fruit. The closed doors that confused you will begin making sense when the right doors open with peace attached to them. You will understand why I did not let certain things happen early. You will understand why I protected you from premature exposure. You will understand why the old version of you could not carry what the refined version of you is now prepared to steward. So do not enter this next season shrinking. Do not enter apologizing for what I healed in you. Do not enter expecting disappointment to repeat itself just because it visited you before. The last season completed something. The next season will confirm it. What was hidden is coming into view. What was formed in tears is coming with strength. What was tested in private is about to stand in public. And when it begins, remember this: it did not appear suddenly. It was prepared quietly. It was built while you were crying. It was sealed while you were still believing. But now hear me clearly. Passing the test does not mean you become careless with the door that is opening. Passing the test does not mean you rush into everything that looks like opportunity. Passing the test does not mean you stop praying because the pressure lifted. Passing the test does not mean you become proud because you survived what tried to break you. The season is changing, but your posture must remain surrendered. The atmosphere is shifting, but your heart must remain guarded. The door is opening, but stewardship is what keeps the blessing stable. In trials, you survive. In blessing, you steward. Do not forget that. The same faith that carried you through pain must now govern you in favor. The same humility that kept you on your knees in the hard place must stay with you when doors begin to open. The same prayer life that helped you breathe under pressure must not disappear when things start working. Do not let relief make you spiritually sleepy. Do not let breakthrough make you careless. Do not let increase convince you that you no longer need daily dependence on me. Old fear will try to follow you into new favor. It will whisper, explain yourself again, prove yourself again, chase their approval again, expect them to reject you again. Spend quickly because you are afraid provision will leave. Say yes to everything because you are afraid another door will not come. Keep people close, even when their presence keeps pulling you back into the version of you I just delivered you from. But I am telling you now, do not carry old fear into new favor. The fear that helped you survive uncertainty cannot be allowed to manage your next season. You do not have to over-explain what I have already confirmed. You do not have to chase validation from people who were absent while I was forming you. You do not have to expect rejection just because rejection was part of your last season. You do not have to spend from panic, speak from insecurity, decide from wounds, or reopen doors I closed with mercy. The new season will require a new discipline, not because I am trying to burden you, but because I am teaching you how to keep what I am placing in your hands. Guard your peace fiercely. Your peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Practice prayer daily, not only when you are desperate, not only when the storm is loud. Stay connected when things are good. Stay humble when people notice you. Stay discerning when opportunities multiply. Stay clean in your motives when favor increases. Because when blessings multiply, responsibility multiplies. More open doors means more decisions. More provision means more stewardship. More influence means more accountability. More access means more need for wisdom. Do not let wounded people pull you back into old cycles. Love them, but do not let them lead you. Forgive them, but do not hand them the keys to your next season. Be kind, but do not confuse kindness with permission. Some access points must remain closed. Some conversations must remain finished. Some patterns must not be entertained again. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Boundaries are not proof that your heart became hard. Boundaries are proof that you finally understand the value of what I am protecting in you. Let heaven record this instruction. You cannot protect a new season while entertaining every old access point. You cannot steward fresh favor with old fear and control. You cannot carry divine increase with careless hands. So slow down, pray before you answer. Discern before you agree. Listen before you move. Give with wisdom. Receive with humility. Speak with restraint. Walk with clean motives. Keep your heart soft, but keep your spirit sober. The test opened the door. Stewardship keeps you stable once you walk through it. Favor is coming with responsibility attached. Blessing is coming with discipline attached. Increase is coming with instruction attached. And if you remain humble, prayerful, discerning, and obedient, what I release into your life will not crush you. It will confirm you. It will not corrupt you. It will mature you. It will not pull you away from me. It will prove that the one who cried through the test is ready to carry the blessing with clean hands. Now let heaven record what your mouth is about to agree with. You are not who you were before the test. You are not the same person who entered that season confused, trembling, wounded, and unsure if you would make it through. You are not the same person who measured your worth by closed doors, by empty hands, by silence, by delay, by who stayed, by who left, by who noticed, or by who forgot. The test changed you. The fire refined you. The pressure strengthened you. The tears softened you without destroying you. The waiting matured you without making you bitter. The surrender emptied your hands so I could fill them with what belongs in your next season. So say this with your spirit, and if you can, say it with your mouth. I am no longer living from the wound. I am no longer answering to fear. I am no longer carrying the identity of what tried to break me. I passed through the fire, and I came out refined. I cried, but I did not quit. I bent, but I did not break. I waited, but I did not walk away. I surrendered, but I did not stop believing. I am ready for what I once prayed for. Hear me clearly. I call you chosen. I call you refined. I call you restored. I call you protected. I call you forgiven. I call you strengthened. I call you ready. Not because everything felt easy. Not because you handled every moment perfectly. Not because you never questioned, never trembled, never wept, never needed help. I call you ready because you stayed with me through the proving. You let the process do its work. You allowed correction without running. You allowed healing without hardening. You allowed waiting without surrendering your promise to unbelief. Heaven witnessed your tears. Heaven witnessed your obedience. Heaven witnessed your restraint when you could have retaliated. Heaven witnessed your prayers when your voice was tired. Heaven witnessed the nights you wanted to stop, but still chose one more breath, one more prayer, one more act of faith, one more quiet yes. Heaven witnessed your refusal to quit when quitting would have been understandable. Let heaven record it now. The old season has completed its assignment. The new identity must be agreed with. Do not let your mouth keep speaking as if you are still trapped in what I already brought you through. Do not keep calling yourself broken when I have been restoring you. Do not keep calling yourself forgotten when I have been protecting you. Do not keep calling yourself behind when I have been preparing you. Agreement matters. Your next season requires your agreement with what I have produced in you. So type these words as a public declaration and a spiritual agreement. I passed the test and I am ready. Type it now, not as a performance, but as a witness. Let your own eyes see the words. Let your spirit hear the agreement. Let heaven record that you are no longer begging to be who pain tried to steal from you. You are standing in the identity I have spoken over you. And this declaration is not the end of the message. It is the seal before you walk into the next season, because now I am going to pray over the one who kept crying but did not quit, and I am going to cover the place where the test ended and the promise begins. Now I place my hand over the place in your spirit where the test left bruises, and I speak healing there. I speak healing over the heart that kept beating while it was breaking. I speak healing over the mind that kept trying to understand what only heaven could explain. I speak healing over the memories that still sting when you least expect them. I speak healing over the places where rejection left a mark, where pressure left exhaustion, where betrayal left caution, where silence left questions, where delay left trembling, where isolation left ache, and where surrender left empty spaces that are now ready to be filled by me. May strength return to you in the exact places where endurance made you tired. May your breath become steady again. May your sleep become peaceful again. May your joy rise without guilt. May your body release the weight it carried through survival. May your heart stop bracing for another blow. May your spirit understand that the season of proving has completed its assignment, and you do not have to keep living as if the test is still active. I speak rest over the one who kept going. I speak restoration over the one who kept praying. I speak renewal over the one who cried in private but still showed up with faith. Now I ask that confirmations meet you in the days ahead. Let the right conversation arrive at the right time. Let peace confirm what belongs to you. Let wisdom rise before every decision. Let protected doors remain closed, even if your emotions try to reach for them. Let appointed doors open with clarity, not confusion. Let provision come cleanly. Let increase come without chaos. Let the blessing enter your life without dragging disorder behind it. Let what is from me carry peace, alignment, humility, and light. Let what is not from me lose its attraction before it gains access to your future. I pray over your relationships now. May healthy voices find you. May loyal hearts walk with you. May people who honor your healing not pressure you to become who you used to be. May you be surrounded by those who can celebrate your growth without needing to control it. And may every manipulative voice lose power over your hearing. May every counterfeit opportunity lose shine before you touch it. May every old fear be exposed before it can guide your decisions. May every shame-filled thought be silenced before it can pull you backward. You will not return to the mindset of failure. You will not return to the mindset of abandonment. You will not return to the mindset of unworthiness. Hear me clearly. Heaven has declared completion over that season. Do not let pain overrule what heaven has already recorded. Do not let one memory reopen a prison I already brought you out of. Do not let one person's opinion rename what I have called refined. You are not failed. You are not forsaken. You are not unworthy. You are covered. You are carried. You are chosen. You are ready. I place protection over this new season. No old fear will govern your hands. No counterfeit door will steal your obedience. No manipulative relationship will hijack your peace. No shame will drag you back into agreement with the version of you that only knew survival. No panic will make you rush. No pride will make you careless. No confusion will sit in the seat of counsel. You will move with wisdom. You will receive with humility. You will discern with clarity. You will steward with clean hands. And now I bless what is coming. May your tears become testimony. May your waiting become movement. May your endurance become evidence. May the places that once held pain now hold proof that you passed. May your next steps carry peace. May your next doors carry purpose. May your next yes carry heaven's confirmation. Let it be recorded over your life. The one who kept crying did not quit. The one who kept believing was not forgotten. And the one who passed through the test is now walking into the promise. Now walk forward like the test is over. Do not keep lowering your head as though you are still being buried when heaven has already declared that you came through refined. Do not keep bracing for destruction when I have already brought you through the fire. Do not keep rehearsing the pain as if it still has authority over your future. The test was real, but the test is not your identity. The tears were real, but the tears are not your ending. The pressure was real, but the pressure did not get the final word. Hear me clearly. You passed what tried to bury you, and now you must walk like someone heaven has prepared. Walk with your shoulders lifted, not in pride, but in agreement. Walk with your heart open, not careless, but healed. Walk with your faith awake, not frantic, but steady. Walk into the next door knowing the last season did not destroy you. It trained you, it refined you, it proved what I already placed inside you. If this word gave language to your endurance, press the like button as a declaration that your pain was not wasted. Subscribe and stay connected for more prophetic encouragement, because the season ahead will require your spirit to remain fed, guarded, and aligned. Share this with someone who needs confirmation that they did not fail just because they cried, and leave your prayer request in the comments, because you were not meant to walk into this new season uncovered or alone. Let this community stand with you. And if you need to anchor this in your spirit one more time, comment the declaration again. I passed the test, and I am ready. Type it until your heart believes what heaven has recorded. I passed the test, and I am ready. Now go forward. Live from completion, not from the wound. The crying season did not cancel you. It completed something in you. You are chosen. You are refined. You are ready.